Okay, folks, now without a shadow of a doubt, I can say that the mid-season finale for Zatima Season 4 was indeed a 10 out of 10. I was a bit iffy on episode 9 getting that ranking, but it kind of edges out. So, all I can say is, first of all, thank you all for going with me on this journey into a new season of the show that honestly I went into season 4 not knowing what to expect after the divisive opinions I had about season 3. But I tip my hat to Mr. Courtney because he did a phenomenal job. This season was great. It's not over yet, but the first half, I am very pleased. And I guess that we won't get the back half until sometime, into 2026. But I will say this much. This was a fun ride from start to finish, episode 1 to episode 10. And I want to say a week or so ago, I posted on social media about how, we're closing 2025 pretty soon. And I'll do my usual ranking of Tyler Perry projects, where I talk about various shows and movies he put out during the year. And I kind of rank it from my, least favorite to favorite. And initially, I'm like, I think Divorced Sisters might take the crown. But Zatima Season 4A might actually win out now. Because initially, I'm like, well, maybe I'll combine Zatima Season 3B with Season 4A. But no, they got to be separate. Because Season 4A, I definitely feel like this is the best thing that came out of 2025. So, without further ado, yet again, thank you for everybody who's been watching my episode reviews. And make sure you give this one a thumbs up. Hit subscribe because the momentum is slowly but surely coming back to the channel now that Sistas is on the air. And I'd really love it if we hit 300K by the end of the year. So let's get into the review. So we start off in the morning. It's, I believe they said Tuesday, and Zach notices that Fatima's a bit off. And of course, she just feels like she's being smothered and tells him to go so she can have the bathroom to herself. So it's like, oh, you're getting bigger. That means your tutus are getting bigger too. So shut up, Zach. Now, as they're going to work, Deja's out there drunk as I don't know what. And, she just had a busy night. So she's talking to Zach. And as Fatima's coming out the front door, is like she almost lets it slip that her and Fatima got something going on. What? We should keep it watch. Watch for who? Nothing. And then as Fatima manages to get Zach to go into his car to go to work, she's like, shut up, Deja. Oh, yeah, I get it. So, Fatima's in her office and Angela comes in. And she talks about how she's not feeling well and is a bit tired. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's because of that shot she took. And she notices, Fatima's feeling the same. And Fatima wants the details about her date night, but Angela doesn't want to talk about it. So that's when Fatima does mention that Leslie showed up. So Leslie, has been a topic of discussion between the two of them. And after Fatima learns that Leslie showed up. So the situation that went down is that Leslie must have intercepted the driver to get the food to bring to the front door, which is insane. And then Deja intercepted it, leading to the fight. And Fatima mentions how, I just told Zach, who was in the shower and he came down, that, the guy just fell and dropped the food. So that's when Angela speaks for us, saying, you need to tell that man what's going on. And she's like, look, I'll tell him by the end of the day. No, she was not going to say anything. So from there, Fatima notices that Angela herself is a bit wobbly. Like, girl, you okay? You eating? Look, these crash course diets and whatnot, they're dangerous. Like, you need to eat something. Well, I'll eat some toast or something. Hey, go to the break room. They got to. A matter of fact, I'll go with you. Why are you going with me? I don't need a babysitter. First of all, I am going to make sure you eat it. And secondly, I got to go to the bathroom to pee. So after that, we go over to Rise Ventures, and it turns out, Zach dropped the ball because he forgot to set up an inspection appointment with he forgot to arrange a appointment with the inspector because remember, he, Bryce, and Preston are supposed to be working on this big, deal. And there are the challenges of, minorities being involved. So they got to, show a professional united front. However, Bryce has the freaking audacity to grill Zach about dropping the ball, not just with the inspector, but I know you got the baby shower stuff and the maternity shoot, but you missed out on the lunch we had. And when it comes to a deal like this, we all got to be on one accord. And while Preston does back up what Bryce has to say, he stops a fight for breaking out and whatnot. He's like, you got to be all in, and sometimes it means sacrificing. You know what? I'm Asian, and my parents grill me all the time about why I'm not married. And it's because you're corny, dude. The only woman you like, Angela, doesn't even like you like that. No, it's because I know that this kind of career means sacrifice. And I don't think I have, the ability to make that balance, but you need to find a way to balance it. And the thing is, I'm just acting like, Bryce, are you forgetting you're the one that you took Rise Ventures and made a selfish decision behind your partner's back, Zach, even after he said no, leading to you putting the company in bankruptcy until Preston swooped in to save your sorry butts. So for him to get on Zach's case is just messed up on so many levels. Man, that's why I work alone, because I had to deal with this once at my old job where a person had to deal with a supervisor call because the person calling in claimed I gave them misinformation, and I'm like, wow. So, I almost went off, but I literally just came into work, and I remember I was walking to my desk, and I walked past dude's desk, and somebody's like, hey, Hunter, what's going on? Oh, I got a supervisor call because Jeremy messed up. And I looked at him. He ain't even looking at me. I'm like, all right, I see you. So, yeah, I'm like, nah, I ain't dealing with that crap. I work for myself. It is stressful at times, but at the end of the day, I don't have anybody breathing down my neck, because Zach, if he would have socked Bryce across the face, I would not have, blamed him, because that was just he really was dancing on the line of an ass whooping right there. So that's when Zach reassures him, like, look, I get it. Yeah, I have been dropping the ball. I will, own up. So he goes in to hug Bryce, like, no, man. So they dap each other up, then hug. And as soon as he's like, you know what, Press, like, hey, I got the inspector on the phone. Let's go to my office, take the call, and we'll, set something up. And then Zach's phone goes off. It's like, it's Zatima. No, you know what? I just made a promise. Like, no, man. Hey, do what you got to do. So he takes the phone call and then finds out Fatima's in the hospital. And he's like, oh, I got a jet. And they're like, yeah, do what you got to do. So real quick, Jeremiah is back on these streets, and he goes up to, like, I guess a dealer or something, and he's trying to, like, hustle some money for some pills. And he's like, Negro, these are ibuprofen. I don't know why, but I laughed at that so hard. And he's like, yo, man, you gotta help me out. You really down that bad, huh? Yeah. Look, if I give you a little something, you're gonna have to start working for me then. You're gonna be one of my runners. Yeah, I do what I gotta do. And it's like, oh gosh. So Jeremiah gets something, and he goes to an alleyway and gets high, and he sees his mama once again. And he's like, Mama, like, why are you doing this, Jeremiah? I want to be with you, Mama. I'm tired of living. No, you can't give up now. Look, there's still people here who love you. Zach loves you. No, we don't, Mama. It's like, look, you need to stop carrying my addiction. That was such a heavy line. It really was. I mean, what you're carrying is my disease, my addiction, and you're better than this. And I'd love for Jeremiah to get better, but, at the route he's going, I don't know what's going to turn it around. All I know is don't go near Zach and Fatima, because there is way too much going on their plates right now. So as soon as his mom disappears, he starts flipping out, and that's pretty much it for him until, the back half of the season. So from there, we go over to the other side of the hood. Child Protective Services, the agent from last week, pops up on Connie. She's going through the burnt remains of her apartment, and she's asked about the incident, and she says, oh, I was cooking and some grease flew up and started popping and the fire broke out. Oh, okay. And where were the kids? Well, yeah, the kids were safely, locked away. They were in the bathroom with some at the time, so they were cool. Well, that's not how some witnesses, explained the situation. I did some interviews, and they said that you stumbled out of the apartment and you were screaming where the kids were, and they made it out, thankfully. And look, I'm not one to take joy in ripping kids away from families. I'm not trying to do that, but what I do is work in the best interest of the children. So I hear that, you got your caseworker and they're trying to work to find a place for you and the kids, but we need to talk. I'll see you tomorrow. So Connie's in some deep doo-doo right now. Now, from there, the last thing to talk about is the hospital scene. Oh, actually, the hospital scene. So, turns out the same doctor who we saw with Jeremiah in episode 9 is the same doctor from the rehab center that Zach dropped Jeremiah off at last season. And, there was the 4-month time skip. Because I was about to say, why can't this doctor just take Jeremiah back because of the fact that Zach paid? But that was months ago, so never mind. But in any case, she sets up Zach with the room number for Fatima where she's staying at, because Zach gets to the hospital and Angela says, look, I don't know much about what happened. As soon as we got here, the doctor took Fatima to the back, so we're still waiting. And she tries to tell Zach to calm down, but he ain't hearing it. But when they go to the back, there was some bleeding, but they go back to the room. And Zach knows that what's happening isn't normal. I mean, yeah, these things happen, but it's not something without a cause to it. So he's like, is it stress or what? So, and probably my favorite moment of the episode, the nurse comes in, or the doctor, and they get an ultrasound. And it turns out they are not going to learn the gender of the baby until the big day comes. And I think that's pretty sweet. Even though I want to know the gender, and I'm sure a lot of us do, they're going to withhold it. And also, shout out to the people behind the scenes, the props department. This baby bump, oh gosh. It's like they gave Karen the dollar store version. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't they add little details of like Crystal's real tattoos on the baby bump to make it look more realistic? So not only do I applaud Courtney for speed running the pregnancy, but the fact that they took the time to make the baby bump as realistic as possible, excellent. That alone is worthy of a 10 out of 10 score. So, yeah, just seeing the baby. It's like, I love seeing Zach happily involved in this process compared to the hell that was Karen's pregnancy. So, man, that just put a smile on my face. All right. So, that's when the doctor leaves, and Fatima agrees that if she's told that she needs to sit down for a while for the sake of the baby, she'll do it. And then Angela says, yeah, you can't let Leslie stress you out. And Fatima's like, girl, stop. But then that's when Zach wants to know the truth. And it turns out Leslie's been popping up at the house, at her job, at her office, and last night as well. He's pissed off that she kept it under wraps. And he's like, look, babe, I'm not going to go off. I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm not going to do anything that's going to land me behind bars like last time. But no questions asked. You are getting a bodyguard. And I'm thinking, thank you, Zach. And he was rightfully pissed off that Angela brought up the situation with Leslie having that spare key from months ago, and he didn't know. Now, I'll save my thoughts for the very end of the review about Fatima's demeanor, but I'll get to that in a moment. So the doctor comes in saying that, I didn't expect to see you so soon, Miss Wilson. But wait, yeah, the incident with the gun was 4 months ago. So, yeah. But in any case, she mentions that the baby's fine. Just don't stress out. Find balance between work and rest, and everything is good. Because Zach is stressed out, obviously, because of the Leslie thing. But he just tells the doctor, yeah, I'm terrified. I love how Angela, like, hell, we're all terrified. Angela can get on my nerves sometimes, but then there are times where it's like she just says exactly what I'm feeling, and it's hilarious. The timing is great. So, overall, that's when Fatima promises to take it easy, because look, there's an OB appointment soon, and I just love the fact that Zach is like, yeah, that's happening, compared to the midwife crap he's trying to push in Sistas right now. So on the way out, Zach is pushing her to the car in a wheelchair. Angela offers to help, but Zach's like, oh no, it's fine. It's like, hey, just call me if anything happens. So she leaves, and when Angela gets home, she takes another shot of that weight loss stuff, and she starts feeling woozy. It's like, ooh, what was that? I'm like, oh Lord, this is not going to be good in the back half of the season. So Zach as he's getting Fatima to the car, Bryce calls to apologize for the way he acted earlier. And yeah, you're doing what's really important. And, is Fatima okay? Okay, good. Well, I'll see you at work tomorrow. It's like, look, yeah, you know what? I have been dropping the ball, but I'll be a man of my word and stand on business. I'll see you tomorrow. So that's when Fatima asks everything is cool. And it's like, yeah, I've been fumbling at work, but I'm getting it together. It's like, I know you can. So that's when, he's like, okay, good. Because, he's feeling a bit happy. But then Fatima's like, actually, instead of carrying me straight home, can you carry me to the office? Wait, what? Yeah, I need to stop by and tell, the people that I want to work from home for a little while. And Zach's like, wait, it's like, I thought you were going to take it easy. Well, Zach, I just can't stop. It's like, I thought you were going to slow down. I can't stop now. Well, you're putting the baby's life at risk. And then Fatima snaps on him. It's like, is that what you think? Yeah. And then she's like, you know what? How about this? You drop me off at the office and I'll drive my damn self home. And Zach, he wants to say something, but he could tell by Fatima's demeanor that, you know what? She's not budging. Now, here's my stance on this. Fatima agreed to slow down and not do anything or, try not to stress out. Okay. I see both sides of this, and there should have been a bit of a compromise here instead of what happened. Fatima could have been like, you know what, Zach, I am going to slow down, but given how things are at work right now, how about a compromise? Stop by the office real quick on the way home from the hospital. I tell them about what occurred, and the doctor says I need to be on rest for a little bit. But instead of just completely shutting off everything, how about I work from home? I take a day or two off to rest, and then I just work from home from, the time being and go from there. I think that it would have been a lot better than her just going like, hey, let's stop by the office so I can bring work home. It's like, how about Zach? Like, hey, after what just happened, yeah, I need to take it easy. So instead of wobbling and driving to work every day, how about it? I stop by the office to clue them into what's going on. See, we can set up a work from home arrangement. That way, it's a good compromise. I can use some rest. And I think that would have been better than her just seemingly forgetting about the promise she made when they were up in that hospital room. So I see both sides of it. Quite honestly, one of the themes I love about this season is that both Zach and Fatima need to learn about balance. It's where Fatima's determined to make it at work and her health and whatnot is crumbling right now. Zach, on the other hand, he's trying to do both, where you can tell he wants to be there for Fatima, but then life stuff keeps lifing and, well, he fumbles at work. So I like the dynamic here. And in terms of the way fans are feeling about Fatima, I'm not knocking points off and I'm not dragging Fatima. I see both sides. This Fatima is far more reasonable than the Fatima from season 3. I know that sounds like, but Jeremy, she was pregnant in both seasons and she's putting the baby at risk and everything. I'm not saying Fatima is not in the wrong here, but I feel like the motivation works because of the fact that I see both sides. And it's not just Fatima demanding stuff. Sure, she is demanding stuff, but Zach doesn't back down. Not every single time, but in some cases, it's like he knows it's a losing battle. But I will say that I wholeheartedly agree with him. Fatima, you're independent, you're strong and whatnot, but you are way more pregnant now than you were in season 3. So Zach, similar to Sistas with Aaron going off about Karen and Miss Lisa shutting him down, he has every right to be upset because his baby's gone. And in Zach's case, yeah, after what happened with Karen and dealing with the custody thing with Michael, he's not going to try to put anything to chance. He's mad about being kept in the dark, but I love how he composed himself in the hospital room. And in terms of Leslie, that's one thing, but Fatima not doing what she needs to do, this is reminding me of Karen in terms of, hey, the doctor said rest, and yet here you are trying to be Superwoman. But, hey, only time will tell how things play out as the season unfolds. But, hey, to the cast, crew, and Courtney, fantastic job. Love the first half of season 4. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.